Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV. Of course, Jennifer here to start off your TGIF. We've got so much fun stuff to talk about today. And if you're wondering who our missing people are, they'll be here in just a minute. We have Dips coming. Dips coming.
It's not that I just don't. It's not that I don't want to sit close.
Matt just doesn't like me.
We're still arm length away.
We are. It's like still COVID protocols, right?
Right.
No, okay. So we do have the Dips coming in a minute. If you're wondering who that is, that's Dan, and Pete, and we're going to be talking about high school football. Friday night starts tonight. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? So much fun. But before that, we're going to talk with our good friend, Matt Wilson from the Marquee, and we are talking about an event that you have going on tomorrow night. First annual. Hopefully it's an annual event.
Yeah, hopefully.
And it is called Jazz and Jambalaya. So tell us what the heck is going on tomorrow.
Jazz and Jambalaya. It is a New Orleans style street fair. So we'll have vendors outside down Portsmouth Street. We'll have a beer garden going down the alleyway there by the Marquee. And there will be the OU faculty jazz band playing for a couple hours of the event in the beer garden.
Oh, great.
Right. And then there will be jambalaya served by Cindy Stifler.
Okay.
And then that's also down the alleyway. And then to round out the event, Razzmatazz for Jazz, which is a Columbus jazz band, which is fantastic, will be playing on the Marquee stage at 7 p.m.
Oh my gosh. Okay, number one, who came up with this idea? Because it's fantastic.
That is Jules Stewart's brainchild. She has so many ideas, and they're every single time killer. So
they are.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Yes.
And Matt, you are what is your official title so I don't screw it up?
I am the president of the Southern Hills Arts Council.
Okay.
And we run the Marquee.
Okay, so let's back up a minute because Jamie and I were talking about this, and he said we were doing a post because we're going to have our 6 cents beer at the event. And he said, is it the Marquee? Is it the Southern Hills Arts Council? Who do I post? And I said, well, that is a good question. So can you just kind of describe or explain the two entities and how they jive together?
Yes. So Southern Hills Arts Council is a group of 15 people that run the Marquee. So we are the same, but the Southern Hills Arts Council is more of an idea of people, and the Marquee is where we do our things.
Okay, so it's the venue in which you host your...
This event we have been advertising as a collaboration between the Marquee and the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Because they are the ones that's putting on the street fair with the vendors, and kind of just collaboration through the whole thing. So
okay, love that.
Marquee and Chamber of Commerce is putting this event on.
So there you go. So Marquee is the venue in which Southern Hills Arts Council hosts their events, if you will. Yes. So that kind of clears that up because he asked me and I was like, I know, but I don't know how to explain it to you.
Right. Yeah. And I hope that made sense. I don't know, but that's how I always explain it. So.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Makes it super easy to understand. So, but the main thing you need to know, super cool event happening tomorrow. Okay, so let's talk about what all will be there. How do people, are there tickets involved? Like, let's talk about all the specifics.
So there's a couple different options. There's a $20 wristband that you can buy and purchase, and that gets you into the beer garden. That gets you a thing of jambalaya, a serving of jambalaya, which we have vegetarian and regular option.
So
which
we have
the
Vumbalaya.
sausage, right? As Courtney Leach would call it.
Yes. That's Courtney's jam.
And then that will also get you into the Razzmatazz for Jazz at 7 p.m. in the Marquee.
So $20 gets you into the whole shebang.
Yes. And then if, you just want to kind of hang out, look at the vendors, and then go into the beer garden for a little bit. That's a $5 wristband to get into the beer garden. And then it's $5 a beer, I think, after that.
I think so, yeah. And what you'll do is and Kelsey and I think, probably maybe still need to work this out a little bit. But yeah, so what you'll do when you get into the beer garden is you'll buy like a ticket.
Yes.
And then you'll exchange that for for a beverage.
Yes, I think they have tokens.
Okay, tokens.
Yes,
whatever it
I
is.
think Totem Media made some tokens.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And that will be that.
Okay, so kind of like if you go to the Pawpaw Festival or something like that, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
All right, so jambalaya, let's talk about that. And what if you just want to kind of come in and eat some jambalaya? What do you do? Can you do that too?
Yes.
Okay.
I was not told the logistics on that, but I for sure.
Show up, we'll get you food
jambalaya.
And
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So $20 for an entire day's worth of entertainment and fun. Are you kidding me?
And that wristband can let you come and go. I mean, it's not like if you leave, whatever. If you want to go somewhere else or you have another thing, you want to come back for Razzmatazz for Jazz.
Right.
Come on back.
So when you come during the day, eat some jambalaya, and then come back later, totally fine.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And then let's talk about the truck for a minute.
Yes. The Thirsty Truckster.
Yes.
They are serving your guys' beer, 6 cents beer, right?
Yeah. So there's kind of a new business in town called the Thirsty Truckster. And let's see. I know it's Chelsea
and what is his name? Brown. Josh. No.
Andrew.
Thank you.
I was like, what is wrong with me?
The wheel was spinning, but I couldn't think of it.
I couldn't spin it out. Yeah, Chelsea, Andrew Brown, and then there's another couple, and I'm so sorry.
And I don't know them either.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I should have written it down. But they have this like fun little truck it is so cute, and you can rent it. But it has like taps on the side. They can serve different drinks out of it, whether it be soda, on up to beer and other different things. So you can rent it for weddings and parties, and
super cool.
It is so adorable.
Yes.
I don't know where they found it, but anyway, so that is going to be there on display, and they have so graciously allowed us to hook our beer up to the truck, and that way we're all kind of working together. It'd be great.
It's collaboration on collaboration on collaboration.
Yes. Isn't that how it should be?
It should be, yes. It takes a village, so.
It does. So we're super excited about that. It's going to be a blast. And so you said that the OU jazz band will be performing?
The OU faculty jazz band. So it's all the faculty, I guess they have a jazz band that they perform together, and they're going to be in the beer garden from 3 to 5. Performing. Okay. So that's an outdoor, that's, kind of give that New Orleans feel like jazz, just in the streets.
That.
So
yes. And then, so all you have to do is show up at the Marquee tomorrow. Now, can you buy tickets in advance, or do you just buy them when you get there?
Let me check that. I have a list of rules and logistics from Jules here. Tickets are online sale, but will also be sold in the box office at the Marquee day of.
Okay.
And then once you get your ticket, you can bring it to me or Jules, and we'll give you your wristbands if that's the ticket that you purchased, and then you're good to go to do whatever you want to do.
Okay, very good. So you can either buy them in advance, or you can buy them, inside at the Marquee box office. And, quite frankly, I'm just going to say it would be a good time for you to head on into the Marquee and check out. What is the exhibit right now?
Right now we have the quilt show. The Apple City Quilts.
Gosh.
Apple Country Quilts, sorry. And they're fantastic. Every year they bring something different, and it's fun. They had a good time, and then the next one that we have at the beginning of September will be the Apple Festival Invitational.
Yes.
So, and that one's always a great one too.
That's great because you just have a lot of local talent showcased.
Yep.
As an artist yourself, I think that what does the Marquee mean to you?
I mean, a lot. It's crazy because whenever I started becoming an artist that wanted to like put their stuff out there, I always wanted to be in the Marquee. I'm like, my goal is to like have my stuff, have a show in the Marquee.
Right.
And I did that in December.
Yes.
And then, I'm the president.
And now here you are, like, you're like, oh my gosh, watch what you wish for, right?
Right. Because I still ask myself, like, why is people giving me keys of this place? But, no, it's great.
No, you do a fantastic job.
We love it there. Jules and I and the rest of the board, and it's been a lot of fun the past year and a half. So
yeah, absolutely. And you all are doing a fantastic job, and we want to thank you for that because, again, this is a volunteer thing. Yep. We need to support local arts, support the local artists. And by showing up tomorrow and having some fun while you're doing it, you're also supporting local crafters, vendors, all of that stuff. Do you know any of the vendors that will be at the...
I have a list of them here.
Oh, okay. Let's go over those. Give them a plug while we're at it.
We've got a couple different things coming in. So let's see. I have all of their applications. So let me see what they've got here.
And if you're wondering, Matt and I did not... His people did not call my people. We just have the ESPN,
yes.
And we dressed we wore the same shirt.
I mean, we're
it's
just
pretty much the same shirt.
Mine's got red, and yours has green. It's the same shirt, pretty much. Yeah. So we've got people selling B vitamin teas. I don't know what that really entails, but that's interesting. We've got. Table massages and bamboo massages.
Sold.
Yep, right. We've got and it looks like an author that's published some books that they'll have out there and some journals created by using her daughter's artwork. That's Threefold Press. We've got Hilltop Creations. They do laser engraved products, cutting boards, coasters, keychains, signs, soaps, body butter, sugar scrub, bath bombs. We've got Sandy's Steampunk Jewelry and Vintage Crafts.
Ooh,
so
that sounds fun.
Right. Steampunk vintage jewelry, Scrabble coasters, junk journals, vintage crafts. Have you ever seen a junk journal?
No, what's a junk journal?
So we had somebody enter 2 junk journals into the Foothills Foothills last year. They're incredible.
What is it?
It's literally this huge thing of... It's a journal, but it's pretty much like scrapbooking, but on steroids. It's literally a whole bunch of found things, and you flip through and you can pull and you can. It's crazy. Yeah, they're cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see what else we've got here. I know somebody's selling honey.
Okay, love that.
We've got Two Girls Bath Company. They're doing homemade soaps, lotions, bath salts. Paisley's Boutique, bows, wristlets, keychains, scrunchies.
So you have the gamut of stuff.
There's a ton of things. Yep. And then I know there's somebody that's going to do honey products. I don't know their name off the top of my head, but
awesome. See, those are all things that you can look forward to. You can, again, this is a perfect opportunity for people to show off their talent here locally and the things that they do.
Yes.
And then just again, have some fun. You don't have to drink beer if you don't want to come, and you don't have to eat jambalaya if you don't want to. Just come and enjoy the day.
Yep, for sure, because it's supposed to be a really nice day tomorrow.
It is.
I think it's supposed to be 85 and sunny.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good day to be out.
We'll take it.
Yep. For sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Matt, I know that you're busy planning this event. And so is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know before you get out of here for the day?
Next week, we have Evening with the Arts, which is a little different this year.
Yeah.
It's also an all-day event thing. We're going to have different performances, art auctions, and then food for that as well.
Is it going to be at the Marquee?
At the Marquee.
Okay,
yes.
Very good.
It will be at the Marquee. I think this is the first time it's been at the Marquee for a while.
Strangely enough.
Right.
Isn't that so odd?
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to put focus back on the Marquee and say, hey, we also have this venue that we can use. And I know in the past, sometimes Evening with the Arts maybe felt a little stuffy, or, I can't go to that. It's an art auction and, whatever. It's too formal. And sometimes it was formal, and that's fun. I love to dress up.
Yeah, right.
But this year, it's laid back, come and go as you please, just like Jazz and Jambalaya, and it's just gonna be fun.
And that's the whole point. Fun.
Yep.
Right.
Celebration of the community, the Marquee, the arts. That's what it's all about. So.
That's right. So you have 2 weeks in a row of amazing things going on at the Marquee.
And that was also Jules planning that. So
thank you, Jules.
We've got a lot to do in the next 2 weeks.
You're like, thanks, Jules.
Thanks, Jules.
The rest of us are like, thanks, Jules. You're like, thanks, Jules.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. We hope to see all of you tomorrow out on the streets of downtown Jackson at Jazz and Jambalaya and at the Marquee. It's just going to be a day full of fun and great music, great food, drinks, whatever you want to do.
Yes.
Shopping.
For sure.
Who doesn't like that?
I love shopping.
I do too. I may leave the husband and we'll go shopping. How's that?
Go.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Well, what are we going to wear tomorrow?
We ruined our one outfit.
I know. We totally screwed that up. Maybe we can wash them.
I'll be wearing a Marquee shirt, so
maybe I'll find one of those.
Get Brittany to make you one.
Okay.
And then we'll wear it.
I'll see what I can do. All right. Well, Matt, get out of here. Go get your event planned, and we thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much for
All right. Very good. All right. The dips are out in the hallway. If you would send them in, that would be fantastic. Yep. We appreciate that. Come on in, dips. And while we're waiting on the dips to sit down here, we will do the weather forecast. Speaking of the Jazz and Jambalaya, and look at that. Today is Friday, which means some sunshine, highs of 87, lows of 65. Tomorrow on Saturday, look at that forecast. Absolutely perfect. High sunshine, partly cloudy skies, highs of 85, lows of 66. Moving on to Sunday, that chance of rain in the forecast, but that's okay because we actually could use some Sunday, Monday. But look at the temperatures next week, low 80s all the way through Thursday. We will take it. But tonight is what we're talking about, and that is, the dips are here.
Is that our new? That's our new award they were talking about on the radio. Must be the name.
dips.
The dips. We're here.
That's Dan, and Pete.
We are here, and if you forget, we've got shirts that prove it.
They have their names and everything.
JJ Hale took care of us this year.
He did.
And got us shirts and got her name on there. So you can call us the dips, but at least you're going to have an idea of what her name is. That's great.
Well, the good news is if you can remember Dan and Pete, you've got it. You're good.
You're pretty good.
Your odds are pretty good.
You're pretty good. No question.
Well, very good. So we have our good friends, Dan Morrow, Danny Dobbins, and of course, our old friend, Pete Wilson, here in the studio. And we are going to talk about all things Friday Night Lights. Start tonight.
It's finally here.
Woohoo! It's so funny. I got up this morning and I was like, I was just checking my Facebook because seeing if I had any messages or whatever. And all of these people just like, so excited. They have their Ironman or their, Golden Rockets or Oaks or whatever they have on. And they're just like, woo, it's here finally. It's small town America. We love our football, right?
Friday Night Lights, as big as it is in Texas, when you come to Jackson, Ohio, Jackson County, I think all the 4 schools take it so serious. It's such a... It's such a community thing.
It is. It's not something that's taught or whatever. It's just a tradition that we have had over many years.
We're all sports fans, but the summer gets a little bit dry if you're a diehard sports fan. And I think the minute we enjoy the summer, we enjoy the good weather and all that stuff, but everybody's kind of looking, football is around the corner. And whether it's high school football, pee-wee football, college football, pro football, everybody's waiting on football. And it's hard to imagine that you are a non-football fan of some level and some enjoyment. And if you live in Jackson, that's what everybody's talking about.
It's almost
right
like,
now.
What's wrong with you?
That is a
You
fact.
don't talk about football. Yeah, I mean, I kind of go under the thing, if you can't beat them, join them. So, deal. But and as I started dating Jamie and whatever, and he was such a diehard Buckeye fan, especially. Then
I remember you running up Main Street on the Ohio State Michigan Day a number of times.
Yes, numerous times.
Not Lady Godiva type, but I mean, there was still the emotion.
There was some clothing involved. Yes. But and less hair. But there was definitely a Ohio State Michigan pep rally solely by Jen.
It took place.
It did, absolutely. So
times.
lots and lots of fun. But you guys are here today, and this is not to take away from any of the other area teams, but you all were available to come in, talk about some football today. And the great thing is Total Media has put together an amazing group of announcers this year to cover all of our area sports. And so there you are. You guys want to describe that picture?
Right.
Is that before or after Pete got drunk last night?
Now, easy now.
I'm totally kidding. See, he's up on the stage. He's fine.
I'm not tottering or anything.
Wobbly there.
No, my favorite drink is the Sweet Tea from McDonald's. You know that. But anyway, right there last night, we mentioned J.J. Hale, who, of course, is the director of operations for the radio, has done a great job, doing a lot of new and added things here on our radio lineup.
That's right.
Of course, we've always broadcast the football games, but we had this meeting last night to kind of an orientation thing. JJ had a great handout that will be especially helpful for our new broadcasters, which we have 2 sets of new broadcasters in the Total Media family. And we posed for a picture last night after, we had a meal and a meeting. And if you're looking at the picture there on your monitor, there in the front row is Bob Grillo, Jackson High School graduate, now proudly wearing the maroon of the Vinton County Vikings.
Yep.
And right behind him is Jeff Thacker, his compadre, who broadcasts with him, and they have broadcast almost as long as we have.
Oh my,
See,
a few years.
Right. They are close. They are legends in Vinton County. We're so glad that they are the broadcasters. And then to Bob's right, you have Corey Ruby, who is the new play-by-play man for the Oak Hill Oaks.
Yep.
You have Matt Porter, who is the color man for the new Wellston crew. And the new Wellston crew play-by-play man is Chris O'Boyle there on the far right. I think we had him on TV earlier this week. He's very excited about being the broadcaster, as is Corey for Oak Hill. There in the back row, of course, you have myself there on the left, the aforementioned Jeff Thacker, and then you have none other than the voice of the Ironmen, Dan Dobbins, who is right here with us today, and of course Dan Morrow, who he likes to say nice things about Dan Dobbins and myself, but he certainly is the best collar man that I've ever been around, and I've been around a long time, so that's saying something.
A few years, Pete.
Right, so we have Dan, and then of course JJ himself, who is very much sports-minded. And so that's, one reason why he has always looked for ways to improve what we're doing here at Total Media, and that includes in the sports department. So that was a very nice meeting last night. It served as a nice spiritual kickoff to our season. Every game, whether it's regular season or playoff, for our 4 schools will be on the radio and streamed. So that is fantastic.
That is.
Little locally owned radio stations usually can't claim that.
100%.
But we can here at Total Media. And so we certainly appreciate not only JJ for setting everything up, we appreciate all the broadcasters for the work they do. We certainly appreciate the sponsors who make it financially possible.
Yep.
And of course, above us, Courtney Leach, our general manager, she's all for all this. And then of course, our ownership here at Total Media. So we're all excited about the start of the season.
Woohoo!
And remember, on our stations, WKOV 96.7 FM is our station for Jackson Ironman football. WCJO 97.7 FM for the Oak Hill Oaks. 98.7 YRO for the Vinton County Vikings. And 1330 Fox Sports and its companion station 105.3 FM for the Wellston Golden Rockets. You can go there every week and get it. Now, tonight's game at Oak Hill, that's 2 local teams together. Because Oak Hill is the home, they will have the broadcast. That means that Corey Ruby will have the call for that game. That game will be on WCJO 97.7 FM.
That's right. You can find it right there. Now, the best thing ever about all of this is if you are out of town, if you are traveling somewhere, don't fear. There is a thing, and it is called the Total Media Radio app. And if you have not downloaded that to your phone, it literally enables you to listen to any of the 4 radios, or 5, I guess, radio stations right here in this building anywhere you are in the world.
Let me tell you, 5 years ago, I
Yes.
missed the first game, or two games of the season, because I was in Alaska on a tour, on a cruise.
Well, yeah,
And
that would certainly be out of the area.
I was out of the area. I was in the restaurant, and everybody with us saying, "What are you doing?" I said, "I've got the Total Media app. I'm trying to get the score of the ball, because it's 5 hour difference from where we were in Alaska to back here. So we're in the middle of the afternoon having late lunch, and
Listening to high school football.
Absolutely.
How funny.
Yeah, it was great. So you can pick it up anywhere.
That's absolutely right. I know our good friend Bonnie Holzappel sent me a message one time. She said she was on a train in Europe somewhere listening to our morning show. And I thought that was just
He's got a little brother
so
in
neat.
Florida
Yeah.
that listens every week. I don't know why.
So
You should have in Florida. You should have better things to
You're
do
right,
than
exactly.
listen to these three. But he still loves Jackson and loves Jackson Ironman football and basketball. And he listens to his big brother just every week, I think it is.
Pretty
Timmy.
much.
So,
Yeah.
And
it's
that
pretty
means
neat.
something. So please download. It literally takes a split second for that thing to download. I don't know how they do it, but so you just, and then you go to Total Media Radio app, and
Select your
it
station.
looks just like that. You can pick whatever station you want to listen to. You can also listen to the show every day. And then there's links to also the podcasts and things like that as well.
Well, and what's really neat, if you're a diehard football fan, and we got a lot of them in this county
A lot.
that are going to be sitting at one of the games tonight,
Yes.
you can be checking the other ones out.
That's
if
right.
your interest is in also what are the Vikings doing against Uniota, or what are that Oak Hill Wellston game? Boy, what a matchup that is. Or if you're sitting in Logan, punch in there and find out what's going on. That's really an advantage.
That's
And
right.
That's an advantage we never had in the press box for years.
Of
Trying to
knowing
keep up
what-
on scores and what's going on there. So
And-
that's really a neat thing.
You know, another thing that a lot of people do, and I didn't realize this, is they go to the game and they're at the game, but they're listening to you guys via the app
Sure.
because
And
they
we've
can get
learned-
the
we've learned
stats
very
and all that stuff.
Quickly, make sure you pronounce the player's name right, because grandma or
You
grandpa's
see,
in the
heads,
stands.
They're in the
you see
stands.
heads in the stands turn and stare right at you. Get
That's
that
true.
right. And,
You messed that up.
yeah, we've been corrected. We have been corrected. Well, hey, the voice of the Ironman, 42 years.
Absolutely.
The best stat man this side of the Mississippi, 42 years. I'm the child in the group. I've only been with him 39 years.
Oh, yeah.
123 years. We're kind of proud of that, but also how many people are sitting there saying, boy, those guys are over the hill. But they started
No,
this
not
back
at
in
all.
1981. I came on board in 1984,
Mhm.
and I just told Matt in there how many people were saying I wasn't even born in those years, and these guys have been broadcasting. But we've now done granddads, dads, and sons ball games. I mean, it's pretty neat. And
That is neat.
We're
Yeah.
just thrilled the three of us can still get together and do it. We're three of the best buddies that can ever happen, and what a luxury it's been to get to do this. Your dad got us started.
I know.
Yes.
It's all Big Lou's fault.
Well, yeah. If you're upset with us, folks, blame Lou. And he's got big shoulders.
That's right.
He can handle
yes,
that.
Definitely.
Yes.
We were broadcasting more than a decade before Jennifer was the Jackson County Fair horse queen.
That is
That's
true.
how far we go
That
back.
is true.
That is true.
Yeah. And
Didn't
she
know anything went back further than that.
she was hanging around the old backyard in my
I
neighborhood.
know, right?
I know. On there.
Yes, Bobby Morrow, take me to the stop and go.
There you go. There you go. And the attorney does listen in Columbus.
Hi,
also.
Bobby Morrow.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I have to give him a plug because there are not too many high school seniors that would take a 4-year-old little girl on a date to the stop and go for a slushie.
Well,
I mean, and he did that.
was that your first date?
I think so.
Okay. Was there multiple?
I think
As
so.
long as he had money.
Mom said I would just sit outside and go, Bobby Morrow, and just wave at the house until he would come out. Yeah.
You were kind of well taken care of in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
weren't
I was
you?
there. I was the little
Funny eyes
princess
keeping an eye.
in the midst of a whole lot of boys.
Yes.
And you
Well-
all took care of me for sure.
Little thing, we have the
Yeah.
Andy Hall pregame show again this year.
Yes.
And we have a new sponsor for it, and I want to give them a plug.
Heck yeah.
Hot Head Burritos is now sponsoring the Andy Hall pregame show,
Nice.
located on McCarty Crossing Plaza on East Main Street. I got to get all this down pat. Hothead burritos, mild to wild is kind of their saying. But, my wife and I have gone there a lot of times. It's great.
Yeah.
Really good food. And so we appreciate them. I assume they'll take over, hopefully, sponsorship of the Max Morrow basketball show also in the pregame. But that was another thing Pete was saying with all these new announcers. We've done it all these years and we've committed to it, but they've not only committed to doing the football broadcast, but basketball broadcasts. We do every football game, but in basketball, we do the radio station Total Media does 12 boys games and 8 girls games plus every tournament game. So that's another commitment for 4 schools at 20 games plus all tournament games. So, throw that in there along with the football, the commitment they make, and once again, the sponsors.
That's right.
And Pete and I have the honor of doing some baseball the last couple years. Pete's done it more years than that, but sponsorship is huge for that, and we can't thank those people enough. They step up
as we go around the leg and outside the leg. You don't have every team covering radio covering every team.
Absolutely.
And this is very unique to Jackson and Benton counties. The dedication, obvious for the radio, but also the sponsors and just the fan support. So it's just been great.
Yeah, it really is special.
People are in.
It really is special.
You've got.
You guys are following, and this is the real deal.
When we travel, like tonight, and at Logan tonight, it's going to be on top of opening night and everything. It's going to be their Hall of Fame night. So they're honoring some of their some people from Logan are going to go in their Hall of Fame tonight. They had a banquet last night, and that's going to be part of it. And it's also alumni band night. And one of the things, and we'll mention tonight, Coach Hurd and that crew, our band is special.
Oh.
Our band is very, very special. But one of the other bands that does maybe compete with us is Logan. They take it serious. And so if you're going to Logan tonight, don't be getting popcorn at halftime. Watch both bands. They put on a great show, and it will be. But where I live, I can hear our band practice every night. And if you like a little bit of Beatle music, I'll let you know they're working on some Beatles songs.
Spoiler alert!
That is there. But our band is spectacular, and it is really neat to see. Because we'll go to games where we see a band that's, a fifth the size of our band.
Sure.
And you just think, we have so many kids getting that enjoyment, and they take it serious.
Oh, they sure
and they
do.
Have worked
and they're
hard.
good.
They have worked hard all August. I mean, we'll talk about Jackson football, how that's year round, but the band is year round too. And, and the product they put on the field is pretty obvious.
Yes. Absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned that because Chris O'Boyle, when he stopped by the other day, as he will be calling the Golden Rockets games, but he said the same thing. I don't want to go leave at halftime. I want to watch the band.
It's fun.
I don't want to take a break at halftime.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what I was going to say too is when we go to Logan tonight, it will be Logan. They're going to love one thing. Hopefully they won't like the outcome of the game.
I mean,
that's okay, but they're going to like the gate. Jackson brings fans, and we fill those visiting sides up, and it just makes such an atmosphere on the road. We know what it's like up on Alumni Stadium on a Friday night. It's special, but it's pretty neat to watch us travel. Our fans travel, and they have for years. But it seems like it just keeps getting bigger. And we'll blame Coach Hall on that, his success. We got to get into some of those details. We can blame him for some of this frenzy that is Jackson Ironman football. Remember, we talked about his pregame show. It's on, and I mentioned it comes on. It's going to come on about 6:35 tonight.
Okay, so you can tune in then.
Tune in early. There'll be a pregame show on Ohio High School Athletic Sports before that for 20 minutes. So probably about 6:15, we're going to start having football on the air.
Okay.
And then we'll have the Coach Hall pregame show, and then we'll be right into the kickoff on there. So tune into that. Thank you, Hothead Burritos, for the sponsorship on there. But Coach Hall is starting his 14th season here at Jackson High School.
Wow.
That's amazing. Longest tenure, obviously, ever for a Jackson High School football coach.
Man.
He is the winningest coach of all time. He has 107 wins in his 13 seasons. The highest total before that was Coach Jim Reynolds, one of my very, very best friends, had 63 wins. That held up for 80 years. So this is maybe a number that might stay for a little while, and he doesn't appear to be stopping at any time shortly. So it's really great to listen to him. What a job he's done. Just little things. He's got the most wins in history. He has 9 playoff appearances. He has 7 playoff wins. Jackson's won 10 playoff games in their history, and he has 7 of those 10 wins under his credit. He has 5 SEOAL championships, which he broke a string. Logan was winning the championship literally every year back when Coach came to Jackson, and we won the last 5 there. And that gave Logan 27 SEO championships, us 25. We were the 2 most of the history of that league. But he's also had 3 10-0 seasons. Jackson's had 7 in their history of over 100 years, but he has 3 of them. And
3 of the 7.
It's been really special.
Right.
Been really special
5
run.
straight playoff appearances, which is something. 7 out of the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of teams, they just want to make it to the playoffs.
Sure.
And we'll take that every year. But the track record over time, 7 out of 8 playoff appearances is something.
Last year we won our 3rd Frontier Athletic Conference championship, going 5-0 within the league, coming off a 10-3 season. Won 2 playoff games last year. So a lot of expectations for this team. There's a lot of people very excited about the prospects this team possibly could have. We potentially could be kind of fun.
Very good. So Dobbins over there, you're being awful quiet. So this is his debut appearance here at Main Street TV. So we're not going to let you get off the hook.
I don't have stage fright. I just, the epitome of a good play-by-play man is having 2 better color man, 2 guys better, and a good stat man. So that's why I'm being quiet.
Well, what do you look forward to most this season?
Oh my gosh. It's just the whole atmosphere, the whole thing. As you mentioned earlier, Dan was talking about just the buildup. Summer's kind of winding down. You get excited. You start looking online and what information you can dig up about the Ironmen and teams they're going to be playing. And I've got a 3-ring binder that I keep at home, and I take it to every game.
Yeah.
And I'm polishing it and cleaning it, making sure everything's right before we get started. And because I want to do a professional job.
Got
I want to do it right.
The professional job.
But I just look forward to everything, the whole atmosphere, I guess is what I would say.
It is an
event.
event.
And this year it's got a chance to be pretty special, we think.
So our good friend John Morrow was here yesterday talking about Truth Sports, and we were talking about that, but he was talking about the fact that he can remember when they started Upward, which has now kind of evolved into Truth Sports, that this group of kids, when they were playing flag football and all of that, he said, I could just remember looking out on the field and saying, these kids are so special and they have so much talent. And that was way back then. So he said same thing. He was looking forward to seeing this group of kids out on the high school field.
Well, how about another plug?
Yeah.
Shameless plugs here, but as you can see, the preview came out. Mr. Wilson here at our right, the editor of the paper, his staff did a fabulous job of putting a football preview together. And this came out in the Wednesday paper.
Yes.
And Pete just mentioned that the other fall sports come out Saturday.
Yes.
So get to the stands. It covers all 4 of our football teams in there. Good write-ups on there about them. A lot of details.
Yep.
On the cover, you'll see a young man for the Jackson Ironmen. We're excited to watch play this year, a gentleman by the name of Jacob Winters.
Yep.
A very special football player, but a little bit unique in the fact that he is headed to Ohio University next year.
Nice.
He has got a Division I full-ride scholarship. Ohio University thinks highly of him, as did a lot of colleges, and he chose to stay almost in the backyard here and play for Ohio University. But we get him 1 more year.
That's right.
And he's a pretty special quarterback. Last year he platooned a quarterback early on, had a spectacular game running against the Ironton Tigers last year. He could run. He can play any position. But when Evan Spires, who's one of our favorite players of all time, went down with a career-ending injury last year, he takes over the quarterback position. What's he do after he takes over? While he was splitting time, threw for 25 touchdowns last year and rushed for another 8.
I mean, that's all.
So his expectations are very high. He's worked very hard at it, and Coach Hall speaks so highly of him as a leader and a player and everything. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Just following his exploits. And, I've had more people say, well, what are we going to do? Who's going to catch the football this year? Because we lost some outstanding receivers last year.
Would it be one of the
Blankenship, Prater.
Like you
none
guys?
of us.
No, okay.
All we catch is a cold occasionally. But we have kids. I have stuck down to watch enough practice. We have kids that can catch the football. We have a lot of skilled kids, and they have worked hard at it. One of the things Coach Hall talks about on the show tonight is what it takes. Last year, Jackson, week 13, finished their year. Mm-hmm. What does everybody just go home and not do it? Well, for 4 weeks, they have to take off. They have a banquet, and then they start lifting at 6:30 in the morning at the high school.
Oh, my goodness.
He opens it up. You can lift at 6:30 in the morning or right after school. So at 6:30, kids playing other sports can get in there and get a workout in. They start that all through the school year, and then the workouts really ramp up in the summer. Yep. And I'm down there. I've got a son who's the head basketball coach, so I'm down there a lot in the summer.
Yep.
So I'm watching. He had every bit of 60 kids in there, literally 3 and 4 times a week, working out, conditioning, getting ready for this.
Nice.
Jackson, it just doesn't happen. They put the time in. Our numbers are great. You mentioned our Biddy League program and some of the younger level things.
Yes.
Biddy League this year, I've got a grandson playing for the first time. So I'm down there a little bit more, and they have, I think, 120 to 130 kids involved in the program down there, 2nd through 6th grade.
Yep.
It's a feeder program at Jackson. It just, there's so many people involved in help and behind the scenes. Chris Bice kind of heads that up. He's also our equipment manager who replaced the retiring Greg Potter last year, does a lot of little things. Coach's staff, which includes his dad and a lot of the ex-players that have been with him forever, they're fabulous the way they put the time and effort in. But this doesn't just show up. We don't just show up as a pretty good program. There's so much time and effort and blood and sweat and tears that go into it. Mm-hmm. And that makes it fun for us to be a part of it. We're just on the sideline on Friday nights getting to enjoy.
We just get to run our mouths
getting to enjoy their efforts.
How fun it is.
It is.
We get in free and we got the best seat in the house.
That is true.
On a rainy night, it's worth it.
Night.
Yes. No question about that.
And how about just the field in Jackson and the facilities there? My goodness. I think people come up and they don't realize what they're getting into until they show up there, and it's amazing.
Recently, we've had, seems like more teams from Columbus come down.
Yes.
And I think they're amazed.
Yeah.
They are amazed.
Because they're talking on the way down like, oh my God, we're on a hillbilly
Jackson, Ohio.
They probably don't even have indoor plumbing.
And they pull up and see that alumni stadium, and they walk in there, and the turf is fabulous. It's our second turf. It's a beautiful
what a thing
turf.
To be
the
proud
colors
of.
On it. We're so very lucky. And same thing in basketball and our track, but our girls softball field is coming along.
Yes.
Our baseball field just looks spectacular. I mean, it's Jackson really takes it. They take it serious. They do the things the right way.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
On there, Pete, talk to us about this schedule that Coach Hall was crazy enough to take on.
Right. Well, I tell you what, Jackson, 8-2 during the regular season, and then defeated in the 3rd round of the playoffs against Western Brown, which had a great team. Went to the regional
the
final.
Dreaded Western Brown.
Right. and by the way, that guy's back. The
2 of the 3 losses were Western Brown.
All 7 foot tall of him or whatever he is.
We'll get to that. But here's the thing. There is great expectations for Jackson. We're not going to say that there's not because, we lost some good players, but a lot of good players back. Dan mentioned Jacob Winters, but there's others as well. But here's the deal. Jackson plays in the Frontier Athletic Conference, which are schools, most of the schools are basically our size. Chillicothe, for instance, is one of them. So that's not easy. But the truth is, our hardest string of games are the ones that are pre-conference in our pre-league season. You couldn't line up a tougher pre-league season if you're playing Southeastern Ohio teams than what Jackson has. First of all, you start off with Logan. Even though they've not been the Logan of old, it is still the largest enrollment school in Southeastern Ohio. Much bigger than Jackson. It's just not Logan. It's all of Hawking County. Imagine if there was just one high school in Jackson County, for instance. So that's a challenge right there. We expect them to be much better than what they have been in the past. But then after Logan, right in a row, you have these teams: the Ironton Fighting Tigers, you have the Tri-Valley, and we have to go all the way up there. That's north of Zanesville. Then we host Western Brown and Mr. Drew Novak.
Oh, no.
Who broke passing, at least unofficial passing records in the state of Ohio, more than Joe Burrow, if that tells you anything. And then game 5, we go down to Wheelersburg, which has been to the state many times. All they did in the playoffs was knock off Ironton.
Right.
So that's our first 5 games. And so, seriously,
doesn't Coach Hall know that you're supposed to play, easy games, pansy games before you start the conference?
He's the one to blame. We don't get pansy games because they don't want to play us anymore. He's had too much success. There is a little bit of truth.
We've had some teams that they've
really
chosen not to play us anymore.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Good.
But I keep telling him, I said, you're crazy. Now, granted, he's kept the bar set so high. But all of a sudden, you have a couple down years. That kind of schedule, is tough. But it really, if you need to go buy booster seats. Our home schedule this year is spectacular. We have Western Brown and Ironton coming to Jackson, and those are 2 very, very high-profile high school teams. It will be a huge crowd those 2 nights.
Yes.
It's going to be a big crowd every night.
Sure.
At home. But those 2 nights, get there early or get up there and buy your booster seats, which that is helping the Jackson football program to buy those booster seats. And they are available right now. I think they just went on sale to the general public. If you already had a seat, you're able to renew it.
Right.
But it just went on sale. So go up there and Athletic Director Pat Stevens, Kimmy Dameron is his right-hand person right now.
Are we allowed to still call her Kimmy?
She's Kimmy to me.
I know. I was like, sure. She always Kimmy to me.
But she will help you on that. So
you can do it online. You can do it online too.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's fantastic. Then you don't have to worry about getting there early to find a seat. You have your designated seats.
Right. And that's special. And it's not that expensive. It's a couple bucks per game, and it's worth it.
Do it.
To have a seat. And you're going to be between the 30s. In midfield on there. And there's our stadium picture right now, which is just beautiful.
I mean, I love what you said about those teams coming in, and I'm sure they do drive down from Columbus, and we were kind of kidding about it, but I'm sure they pull up there and say, oh, wow. Never mind. Yeah. We're sorry for the things we said.
Last year we played Columbus South in the playoffs.
Yes.
At Jackson Alumni Stadium.
Yes.
And their coaches come up, and then we stand right beside the visiting coaches, and that's our spot in the press box.
Sure.
And it was just interesting listening to them say, "This looks like a small college. This is better than a small college."
Yeah.
They were
a lot
really
of small colleges don't have that facility.
Not anywhere close to that.
So they were greatly impressed.
And probably the neatest thing, it is called Alumni Stadium for a reason. Probably 90% of all the monies came from the public.
Correct.
The brick wall over there that everybody bought their bricks and all that. Yep. That funded that stadium, and I was lucky enough to be on that committee watching that process take place.
Yes.
And another committee I tease him about, Coach Hall. I was on the search committee for the head football coach then. I was the secretary of the sideliners at that point, and Coach Hall, I remember our interview with him, and I thought, this guy has potential. He might do okay.
He might be all right.
Yeah, it might be all right. But it is fun through the years, and what a thrill to go into our facility. And our basketball is still I said all the fields are spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
But Alumni Stadium is pretty neat.
Something else.
And we're going to go somewhere tonight that has one of the best stadiums. Logan, they can be very proud about their facilities. They have some of the very best.
It's a little newer than Jackson's Alumni Stadium.
Okay.
It's about the same size. And
I don't think their visitors
They do have
are
a
quite
track
as big.
around the Logan Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
They call it the reservation.
Yes.
They call it the
There you
Chieftain
go.
Reservation.
Gotcha.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we always look forward to going. They give us the great hospitality up there, and look forward to going up.
Good. Are there any schools that you're like, oh man, they're like not nice. They're like scary to go to.
Well, since we have to go there, we're not going to tell you who they are.
Okay. Are there schools? Yes or no?
Yes.
That you kind of like.
Well, we had a place last year that will go unnamed that did not let us in. We had to pay to get in.
We weren't on their
Are you kidding me?
Call list.
I mean, they knew who we were.
And so they made us pay
all
to
this
come
equipment.
And they said, well, we'll find you a spot, but you got to pay to come in. Normally we get in free, and so does the broadcasters from the other schools come to Jackson. But so we were a little taken back by that, but that's okay.
Okay, we'll talk about that off.
Yeah, you mentioned the two games, non-league games we have at home, Western Brown and Ironton, but we get the long road trips, I call it, at home this year, and Miami Trace, Courthouse, and Hillsborough.
They get to be
home. 3 out of the 5 games at home, we are on the road at Greenfield and Chillicothe this year.
Gotcha.
In the FAC, Frontier Athletic Conference.
Yes. So it's pretty exciting. It's going to be a fun year. Fans are going to love it. I've just shown Danny there. Danny, talk to us. When we talk Eastern, we've talked how old we are. Listen to some of these numbers.
I didn't say a word.
I didn't realize this because it's been some time since I sat and thought about it. But we have broadcast for 42 years for Pete and I. But in those 42 years, there's been 432 games.
Whoa.
282 of those have been wins. 152 have been losses, and just one tie.
One tie.
Yeah, but 432 games. So it's a 40 plus years plus the playoff games, which are included in that.
Well, we had the one COVID year where we only played
short
6 or so. Yeah,
sure.
So there was some in there, but 26 playoff games in the history of Jackson. We have had the luxury of broadcasting every one of them.
That is amazing.
Well, and what a thrill. Those are special.
Yeah.
They're special games. We've won 10 of them, and we've got to do all those wins. That goes back to Coach Reynolds winning that first playoff game ever, and then nice. Coach Layton won a couple, and one huge one that we all remember so well. Oh, yeah. And then the 7 wins by Coach Hall, and it's that. Matt, now he put a little pressure tonight when we were on the radio because he says we'll be there for all 10 games, and let's just say it right now, and the playoffs. Well, you got to earn your way into the playoffs. But Jackson sure has done a great job of earning their way year in and year out. Most years, recently to get there. So, boy, that's exciting times. And if you can be a high enough seat, you get to host a game, which is so neat to have one in Alumni Stadium, and we really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's pretty
cool too.
Yes.
We got 2 at home last year.
2 at home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We went to Western Brown.
And that helps the gate.
Well, you know what? And you know what else it helps? Just the community in general. And Jamie and I were talking about that the other day of, people hosting these tournament games and things like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, from the gas stations to the
every eatery.
All the restaurants, again, gas stations, convenience stores, Walmart. I mean, all of those things, people come into the community and they spend money. And so that's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Very big deal.
It is. And in one of them, I think I said this last year, but since 1990, Jackson football has kind of taken off. Since 1990, and once again, here you go, one of these years that a lot of people that can't fathom how long ago that is, we have had a total of 2 losing seasons. We've had 19 straight winning seasons, but we've only had 2 losing seasons since 1990. And that is just a thank you to support groups, the Jackson Sideliner Group, which we all were a part of that when it started up, and the Mothers Club, the Biddy League program through the junior high and everything. It's just year in, year out, there is a degree of excellence that's been established, and they just want to keep that ball rolling. And I think this team, they're pretty dedicated. It's a junior senior laden team. Coach Hall will say it's his oldest team he's ever had.
Okay.
The whole offensive line is made up of seniors starting right now.
Oh gosh, that's
terrifying.
They've
all played some. So they're not rookie seniors.
Sure.
They've all played some. So that's a great thing.
Love
we
that.
mentioned the senior quarterback that we have coming back special. We've got a stable of running backs that might be as deep and good as we have seen in all our years. Now, we've seen some great ones back in. Some guy named Shane Wolford in a backfield back then was pretty good. Well, his son, Cade Wolford, is part of that.
There's another Wolford out there.
Cade Wolford, Eli Browerman, Nolan Johnson, and Braden Powell are going to be fun to watch carrying the football this year.
Great.
And if that offensive line meshes like we think they will, it should be some offensive fireworks.
Cool.
5 of the top 6 rushers from last year are back. It was really a great depth of talent throughout the team, but especially in the backfield. And just the way it works out, most of them were underclassmen last year. Cade Wolford was the leading rusher, 873 yards. And he could have run for more than that. It's just that, they spread the wealth around a little bit. And I'm sure that will be the case this year. And Coach Hall has the reputation of being an offensive guru. He is kind of like a quarterback expert. He instructs a lot of kids in quarterbacking, and you can see the results through the years since he's been here. And so that they're going to have a passing game. Jacob Winters, of course, Division I signee at Ohio University. I don't know, Dan, have we ever seen anyone with a stronger arm than Jacob Winters?
No.
I know we go back a long way. I don't want to
We've had some
take
very
anything away
good
from anybody.
quarterbacks, but nobody throws to all corners of the field like Jacob does that I can remember.
Accurately.
Yes.
I mean, the ball gets there, and he
gets there quick.
He's not only, he can heave it, he heaves it accurately. And of course,
that helps.
he's a running threat as well. But so many intangibles, injuries, team chemistry, all sorts of things. You don't know really how good the other team is going to be until you play them, especially early in the season. But I think the table was set for a very exciting season at Jackson High School with this team, and it starts tonight. Last year, we defeated Logan 42-7. It's hard to believe that you could beat a Logan team like that based on
did that happen,
their heritage.
In that game, Logan scored first too.
They ran the kickoff back 94 yards.
No.
94 yards. And we were talking off the air here before we went on, remembering that game. Jackson's first possession, somehow, they didn't punt, but they lost the ball somehow. And so Logan, what's going on here? We were big favorites at 7-0. Well, from that point on, it was so one-sided. Jackson scored on its next possession, was ahead. I got the stats from last year. We were up 28-7 at halftime, went on to win.
He always has the stats.
Went on to win 42-7. And so, up at Logan, those kids are proud. Coach Nick Eddy has been there several years trying to build the program, trying to get it back to where it once was.
Yes.
That they're going to use that.
They want, shall we say, revenge?
And they had a big meet the team event last weekend. It wasn't just football; it was all fall sports. Said they had several thousand people there just for that. They had the banquet last night, Hall of Fame. Got to be careful. We talk about trap games. Got Ironton the next week. Got
Can't
Western Brown later
games.
on. You better be ready to.
You better play.
Have
the
your
game
chin
that
straps on and be
at.
ready to play every week because if you're not. That's when you can be an upset victim.
Mm-hmm.
And just real quickly, I know we're getting close to time, but we're on the offense. You talked about the wealth of returners that we have. But
sure.
On the outside, maybe a little question mark. We lost Tristan Prater, Holden Blank,
Drew Bragg,
different
people.
A lot of long-term starters. But it's like they say at Ohio State, you don't rebuild, you reload, and
makes sense.
That's what we've got. We've got some.
They
haven't had the opportunity to showcase. But I think Coach Hall's real high on these kids.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not sure, and Dan, you can correct me. We don't keep track of necessarily the lower level records that closely as far as knowing exactly what they were. But I'm not sure how long ago it's been since Jackson had a lower level team. I'm talking about 7th grade and up that did not have a winning record.
Right.
And we had 2 wins
pretty
last night
dominant
at
all
Gallipolis. Our junior high opened up last night at Gallipolis, and they came away with some victories.
Well,
so that was
and
nice.
this goes back to these peewee programs that as you guys were saying earlier, that they're starting early and they're building their foundation then.
That's where it all starts. I remember, and Dan will probably remember this, Dan Morrow, because we were both officers in the Sideliners Club. Coach Blackstone here many years ago came in the 80s when the program was a little bit on a downswing. He had a couple losing years to start off his tenure here. Sideliners Club started to kind of support the program and so forth. Started that Pee Wee program, the late Jim Humphreys, who is still revered for what he did for the Jackson High School football program, particularly with the Sideliners and with the Pee Wee program. Coach Blackstone, they were talking about last week's game where Jackson had just lost or whatever. And, Coach Blackstone says, we just have to get better, and we'll count on some of these younger players coming up. And Jim Humphreys looked at him and says, they're coming. And they were the kids. The kids that were in Pee Wee even then. When they got to the high school level, they were ready to play and they were ready to win, and they have been coming ever since.
That's right. Absolutely.
And that does matter, that program.
It does. You're right. All right. Well, guys, anything else you want to tell our viewers before we let you get out? You have a busy day today, and I know Pete, he's a little
We
bit...
will drag him out of here.
I was going to say, please get him out of here to go do the game.
The workaholic editor has to become the stat man here shortly.
I can see the anxiety of, I have all this stuff to do, but I need to get to Logan, I can just see it in his face.
Dobby and I meet here so we can come in and physically drag him out of his office. That's how we get it done.
And if he gets sassy, call Pam.
Oh, the true leader of the band. Yes, no question.
Okay, I have one more question for you. Best high school stadium food.
It used to be.
Okay, there you go.
In our league, Old Born Local, it was homemade food. The Mother's Club or Coach Wise, I don't know, but they would bring food in. And just set it behind you and said, help yourselves. It was great.
Yes.
It was mainly for their people, but they said, you guys help yourself. And
you're like sold.
Yeah. I will say the pretzels at Miami Trace are fabulous. They are pretty special on there. So I'll give them some kudos on that.
Right here at Jackson High School.
Our veals, I think people come, all the out-of-town guests, they come to eat veals from either our Mother's Club booth or the Band Boosters booth on the home side, Mother's Club on the visiting side, and they sell a ton of veals. I've talked to Paul Balg Sr. up at Newman's Grocery, and the number of veals they cut and deliver every time there's a home game is a large number. So I think Jackson County veals would be the number one here, and I'll bet a lot of people from out of town say that.
I'd say you're right.
Yep.
Well, cool. All right. Well, guys, get to work, and we'll let you get out of here. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with us. Have a great, great season. Come back if anything wild is happening. I'm sure we'll talk to you more as the season's rolling on.
Hope so.
Yep. All right.
Thanks, Jennifer.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a wonderful Friday. Jeremiah's behind the scene today.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, and we have one more day of James has flown the coop on us, but
we miss James a little bit.
We do, but Jeremiah, Andy, Courtney, all the gang has done such a wonderful job. We want to thank them. Have a wonderful weekend. Get to your local high school football game. Support those kids. Get to Jazz and Jambalaya tomorrow at the Marquee. It's going to be a blast. So much fun stuff going on this weekend. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here on Monday. Bye.